And Congressman Harder is joining us live this afternoon. Thanks so much for taking the time. So tell us about how your bill would work to unclog the ports.
Well, it's so important to get this done. We've seen prices continue to rise across the valley. The price of groceries has gone up. The price of gas is out of control. And one of the reasons for that is that our ports are so clogged up. We have ships the size of football fields that are waiting for weeks in order to get into port to actually unload their goods. That pushes up the prices for everybody else. And so this bill is all about cutting the red tape on our ports, helping speed up our economy and get folks the goods that they need for prices they can afford.
So what does it do? How is it going to do that?
It actually removes some of the restrictions that currently operate. I'll give you an example. In Long Beach, they have a rule that you can't stack shipping containers on top of each other because they hurt people's beachfront views. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to put aesthetics in front of actually making sure that folks can afford a Thanksgiving turkey this year. And so what our bill does is it makes sure that the Coast Guard and the Department of Defense are creating a task force. They're the folks who know how to make these ports operate as best as possible, and trying to treat this like the emergency it is and not just kicking the can down the road.
Well, and that gets these containers off the ships, but how do you get them from the port into the people's hands who need these supplies?
Absolutely. We are 80,000 truckers short just across California. We need more people to do the work. One of the things that I'm working on is trying to make sure that we can lower the age of trucking from 21, where it is right now across state lines, to 18. If you can drive a tank in the U.S. Army, you should be able to drive a truck, and that can help make sure that the goods get from the ports right into people's living rooms and grocery stores so they can actually buy them and charge them for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there are so many pieces to that puzzle. Congressman, while we have you today, we also want to get your thoughts on some other news this week. The Democratic governor of Virginia was voted out of office this week. Do you think that election has wider implications for Democrats nationwide and what the future holds for them in Congress?
I think it shows that people need to see competent governance. These ports are a good example. As long as prices are continuing to rise, people feel very disconnected. And so that's why it's so important that we actually get this infrastructure bill across the finish line that we're working on. That bill is going to have 1,000 firefighters for California. It's going to have more money for water storage than we've seen since the Hoover Dam for the California Central Valley. I think people are frustrated when they don't actually see tangible results in their everyday lives. That's what the lesson of Virginia is about. And now it's time to actually make sure that we're making those improvements and getting folks the help that they need.
All right, Congressman Josh Harder, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.